Hi guys, how we doing? So we are back working on the dragon. Um, so what we're doing for now is we're gonna paint just his chest and belly and the insides of his wings with a little bit of gold paint. Now we're not gonna go super crazy heavy with it, just enough to kind of suggest the color. And it's going to look a little bonkers at first, but we want it to be fairly light. So you want that red to show through, but we also do want it to have that gold. And you want to keep in mind that this is going to be that black with the gold, red and showing through. So he's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really, really, really enjoying getting this guy going. And I think he's going to be really just almost a showpiece, for lack of a better term, to go in my front yard. Imagine pulling up at somebody's house and this is what greets you. I hope to actually get more of these and paint each one a little bit different and give them just their positions throughout the yard. But you can already kind of see what I'm talking about, what I have in mind for him as far as the gold. And this was a phenomenal idea, I think, from my boyfriend. Which he has a great eye for that kind of stuff. So when he saw this coloring that I've got it based on, that was his suggestion, was to make the chest that gold color. And then my idea was to add in the gold wing as well. And I will end up having to turn him, same as always. Bear with me when I hit that point. Just simply, as I've stated quite clearly a few times, and I think you guys have probably figured out by now, he's heavy. So turning him over, or turning him around, is not an easy prospect on any given day. And on a day like today, where I have been just running my little tail ragged, trying to get a fish tank redone and get everything prepped for this weather that we've got coming through, and trying to get some content up for you guys, it's been a hectic day. And that's not uncommon for me. A lot of times my days off are not really much more relaxing than my days working. But the worst feeling in the world for me is being bored. So finding other things to do and finding ways to keep myself occupied is definitely important to me. So I am curious to see. Oh, see, now that looks cool as can be. I had to kind of sneak back behind the camera so I could actually see what you guys are seeing. And I am very thrilled. Because it is actually giving exactly the vibe that I was hoping for. I do apologize for this section being just a little, for a few seconds off camera here, but I just have to grab his belly real quick before I turn him. So you may see the back of my head for just a second. I promise it won't be for too long. My very, very messy bun is not something you need to have to look at for long. a little tricky when you're sitting on the floor working, but it's kind of fun. It's a whole different feel to it, that's for sure. Let's make sure he's colored in up here. And that is definitely kind of the ideal I was looking for. So we're going to do the same look on the insides of the wings. And that is going to be really the only places I think I'm going to put a lot of the gold. I think too much could be overkill really quickly, but I think a little bit just adds a whole new element to him. So it'll be something kind of neat and new and different. So let's do our first turn of the day here. Let's see. A little bit further and you guys will be completely in the shot there. There we go. So it's going to be kind of the same basic idea, just this like where it's supposed to be like a membrane. I think that just kind of ties into the belly just a little bit and gives him that little bit more depth than what we've had, even though that red definitely is already quite striking. Adding the gold on top of it, and then, like I said, slowly but surely creating the look of something that's almost on fire underneath those scales is going to be a really neat concept if I can pull it off. So the next video with this guy is going to be a lot of detail work. It may be a lot of me moving the camera because he is probably going to have to, you are going to have to probably come down to my level for some of the scale work. And that may be a few videos if you guys like the idea of watching that whole process. If not, then we'll just do one and the rest will magically happen the way so many of my more tedious paint jobs do. I want to see the fun, I want to share the fun stuff with you and not make you sit through the tedium type things. But this has definitely added already a very interesting layer of color to him. And what I'm doing there, if you see me hitting that same spot periodically, is I actually laid just a little bit more paint in that spot than I needed so that I could just kind of spread it down into that point rather than coming in with way too much paint on my brush and getting it stuck in that point there. It's a neat little trick. I'm definitely a fan of it. Sometimes you get a better effect when you pull your paint to where you want it than you would if you just put the paintbrush down full of paint to begin with. So since I did upload one already today, this will probably go up tomorrow, which I guess that'll be today for you guys. But I do have to work, and I'm really, really very much hoping that the storm doesn't end up being nearly as bad as what they're thinking it might be. I don't have to go to measures as far as the power and everything. But we are prepared for it if we have to. Mostly it's more inconvenient losing power than anything. You won't see an upload for a couple of days because no power means no internet. And I'm not using my phone's limited data to upload videos. So let's turn this guy one more time. Let me take a peek and see here. Oh, I did. I'm glad I took a peek because I missed a section, didn't I? I am going to reach it across in front of you guys for just a second here. Running a little bit low on my paint. I am very glad that I looked into the camera, and see, that is exactly why I've been doing it the way I've been doing it, because now I have this little bubble stuck in there. There we go. I don't know what made me stick my brush way up in that corner like that, but sometimes you're gonna oops, and as long as it's fixable, you can't beat yourself up about it too much. There we go. Now let's see how we're looking. Oh, that's much better. So let's go ahead and flip him around. Let's see how we're doing on time. We're actually going to end up not using as much time as normal today, aren't we? I swear, sometimes a project likes an idea and just cooperates. And sometimes a project is big and heavy and hard to move. Okay. Let's see. And let's put him right in your line of sight. That was easier than the first time, I think. I do actually have to turn him just a teensy bit more, because there we go. I couldn't see this section. And sticking my head in the frame is not my ideal way of having fun. He's definitely coming along nicely. It's kind of fun when you have two projects so drastically different, like I've got going right now, where the cranes I'm trying to kind of stay within a very specific boundary. This guy is just nothing but whimsy. And I think having the two types of projects really kind of balances each other out. And makes for a really neat and fun way of thinking about it. This wing's a little bit rougher, I think, than the other one was. And that's going to happen. I still think I absolutely love this idea. And you may see me decide to come back in later and add a few sections of gold. I'm not sure yet. I think it's one of those colors that you have to be very careful about overdoing them. You don't want to overkill it and become gaudy when it's meant to be a really just neat extra detail. And you can hear that wind going and that road going pretty well today, can't you? Never 100% sure how much the camera picks up. I am not the biggest fan of actually listening to my own voice. So though I do scan through my videos just to make sure there's no glitches or anything, I don't tend to listen to them unless I'm listening for something very specific. So the road noise is something I've never really thought to sit and listen for. Because even if it does pop up, there's not much I can really do about it. So if I were to get more of these dragons, what are some color combinations you guys would want to see? What do you think your dragon would look like, given the opportunity to choose the colors? As me, I would probably, where this one's going to be almost like molten lava, or a lava flow. That's the term I've been trying to think of. With the deep and bright mix in it. I think I might look to do one as ice with the same basic theory, but maybe start it out with a deep blue, or maybe start it out with an ice blue and then come over it with deep blues. I don't know yet. We do not have this hypothetical dragon just yet. I think I definitely would like to revisit this different ways, maybe with different dragons, different color combinations to see what the best one for this effect is. It's always fun to play with color and see what you can do with it. Just making sure I got up in there good. So I think that this little gentleman is finished. I'm just taking a quick peek. Now I'm going to turn him back to the front so you guys can see him one more time, as this actually is a very fast drying paint, so he actually has dried here already, believe it or not. Make sure I don't have any paint on my fingers. Let's turn this little gentleman one more time here. And what I'm going to do is actually turn the flashlight on. He seems to have come a little closer to me there. So, there he is. So what do you think of this edition so far? And are you looking forward to seeing what the next project, the next layer will be? what do you think we should do with the orange? Should we do just tiny details or should we do something big with it? Let me know what you think in the comments. Sorry, I missed my target for a second there. But that is going to do it for me for now. It is starting to cool off back here pretty quickly. So, excuse me. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later.